Welcome back for another episode of Board Meeting. I'm Evan.
And I'm Robert.
Today we're talking about the Molokai to Oahu race, how to train for it, some things to think about, some info on equipment, and just talking shop. If you were going to ride an unlimited board in the Molokai channel for your first race, like this year, what board would you ride?
Well, it would be my bump rider. It's like we call it the Molokai Express. It's a 17.6 by 27.
Does it have a steering system or what? Okay.
It's an own custom steering system that we custom built for it. So, and I might still use that if I can. I mean, if I can't use my 14, but I'm just so used to the bump rider, and I've been doing really fast runs on that. So,
so you're liking the 14 better?
I mean, the unlimited is faster, but not much faster, you know. So, I don't know. I've never done that on a 14, so it's kind of a new challenge for me trying to do it on a 14-footer.
You know what, though? I tell you, in terms of like this Hawaii Kai run, Hawaii Kai to Waikiki, it's 14 and higher winds is the most fun.
Oh yeah.
Board.
Yeah.
It just fits properly.
Yeah. It's more maneuverable. Yeah. You can kind of turn into the waves and turn out and yeah. I mean, I have for sure more fun on the 14. Plus, when there's waves coming in, you can surf the waves. You can get on the tail and ride it. Versus an unlimited board, like the rudder system always gets kind of wishy-washy on a wave, and they're so long that you can't really turn them. And plus, you don't want it to.
It's way more technical. Like the 17 is way more technical. And
you don't want it to break in the waves too, you know. So like we did a run the other day when we went like from all the way through Waikiki to Ala Moana, and on the 14 I just was catching waves all along through Waikiki, on a big day, and the guys on the unlimited board just stayed outside the whole time.
So what else are we missing from this Molokai kind of discussion? Anything else that could be helpful for newer people coming in? So.
Especially what I said earlier, from the mainland, like training in rough water, that's what I was going to say too. There's there's a lot of times not a lot of opportunity for that, but if you can find a spot where the water kind of refracts off of a rock wall or whatever, kind of at China Walls, it's like, or coming towards Portlock, it's just the water's like a washing machine. So if any place you can find conditions like that and paddle in the really rough water, get your legs used to it. What I also do is sometimes at night I'll just stand on an Indo board and watch a whole movie, like an hour, while I'm balancing on an Indo board, just to strengthen the legs and have that balancing.
You ever ate it? Did you ever fall on and on your ass on doing that?
No.
Oh.
Did you?
I don't know. I'd be standing there watching it. Yeah, this movie's good. Zoning out. Boom. Next thing you know, I'm on my ass and looking at the ceiling.
No, I mean, I think where that helps because it kind of becomes. Your nervous system does the regulating, and it becomes like fine motor balance. And I think, doing it for a long time where you don't have to think about it, it's kind of just becomes a natural thing. I don't know.
It's almost like meditation if you do it that way. That's the thing I kind of like about doing the distance kind of paddling, not Molokai distance, but like just downwind run, because I lose weight if I'm doing downwinders. I lose no weight surfing stand up because I end up paddling out. Sitting down, talking starry, catch a few waves, paddle in. I felt like, I did something, and then I eat a huge lunch or something. I don't lose any weight doing that. But downwind, it gets you kind of in that fat burning zone where you get that pace. So the weight loss for that is good. But that meditative state, I can automatically almost go into this. I get all my best ideas for like business or whatever else on that run. So trying to find time to do that run more often now that things are more busy is important. But the interesting thing is that for ADHD people, so ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, you get distracted, all that kind of stuff. Type I'm ADHD. So what they do is some of the exercise they do is called cerebellum exercises, where you stand on like a balancing board, similar to Indo board, but not so dangerous. And then you'll have to like throw a ball and catch it, throw a ball and catch. So you're kind of doing this balancing thing and doing another activity at the same time, or reading.
Yeah, so you have to be completely focused on your task.
So I think one thing, I don't know if it somehow stimulates the cerebellum, and then you can start to, it helps your focus. And that's the same kind of feeling I get on a stand-up board, because you don't really enjoy it until you stop having to worry about your balance, right? The first time you go out there and you do a downwinder, unless you're really good or something, you're worrying about your balance. Like, oh my God, I'm balancing, because you're going, front, back, side, and you just keep falling down. Once you got the balance squared away and you can think about other things, then it's like, you get a whole bunch of good ideas. So.
Well, if you're getting good ideas, that means maybe you're thinking too much still, But
it's weird though, because
you get in the zone, but
it's
kind of like your mind processes things in the background kind of thing, right? I mean, that's kind of more what it is, but
it's more like alpha state.
You have to be completely focused on what you're doing, really, because otherwise you fall in, right? I mean,
it's weird though, man. It's almost like driving. You ever had it driving where you turn on the key and next thing you know, you're at work and you're like, whoa, how the hell did I get here? It's like you kind of zoned out, but you're still doing that manual function. It's almost like that, and I don't know if that's alpha brain state where you're doing that kind of calm, active problem solving, more or less, but I noticed that I can just, if I have an issue or something and I do a downwinder, typically by the end of the downwinder I figured it out without having to consciously spend a huge amount of effort thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a lot like meditation, but where your mind gets empty, you just can't focus. You have to focus on the moment. You have to be in the moment. You're doing what you're doing. Otherwise, you're going to fall in, right? You have to, as soon as you start to get distracted, your paddling's going to suffer, right? So unless you're in the moment being completely focused on it, you're not going to do well. What I've also noticed, like the downwind paddling, it's not a steady effort. It's more like the quick sprints and then gliding, trying to relax and sprinting again. So, but for me, like doing with the heart rate monitor, paying attention to that, like in downwinders, my heart rate will go up to 170, or even just when I'm training, not even in racing up to 190 sometimes. But when I flat water paddle, even at high intensity, it doesn't really ever go higher than 150. So down, even though it seems like you're not paddling as much, you're gliding more, you're relaxing more, your heart rate really goes up high, and that's why you burn a lot of calories. It's a really good workout. I mean, and because part of it I think is the adrenaline too. It's exciting to surf the waves and get into it, and you can maintain that high heart rate for a long time, especially if you go with others and everyone's kind of chasing each other, and it's just it's a very, very high intensity workout, really. It's not like, I mean, running, any other sport I do, I never get my heart rate as high as in downwind paddling. Definitely not stand-up surfing. In
a one-man canoe, you can get your heart rate up really high too.
Yeah, I believe it.
But I tell you, I never used to want to downwind paddle initially. I was like, I ain't doing that. That sounds like running. I don't want to run either. I just want to have fun. But downwind has been so much better because you can catch hundreds of little waves without having to worry about crowds or dropping in on somebody or anything, and you get that that initial rush, because if you're in junky waves anyways, you're only really getting a small ride, so it's almost the same on a downwind. If you get a good bump, you're riding almost similar to a junky day of waves. Plus, if it's windy, then regular surfing on a stand-up is kind of junk. Yeah. Because you can't even drop in and things start flying. So
plus you get one after another. It's like one ride after another. It's non-stop action. You never have to sit around and wait, and definitely never get any stink eye. I mean, that's part of it too. What I like about it too is there's a camaraderie with everybody that does it. Everyone's super friendly, welcoming. Like new people want to join. They're like, oh yeah, the more the merrier, right? Yep. So it's always everyone's welcome. Yep. Not like surfing where it's like you show up with 3 people, everyone gives you stink
spot.
Eye.
What you doing in my spot? Whatever.
Yeah, it's like
you don't bother anyone, no one bothers you.
Right.
It's
just a wide open ocean, right? So
catch a ton of waves. You can have the same kind of rush and fun without having to, and you lose weight. I don't know. If it's up to me, I would rather do a downwinder, time permitting. I don't know. That's just
it
me.
Does take a lot of time. So, but yeah, I agree. I mean, it depends on the conditions. But if you have, like you said, if it's windy and crappy waves, much rather do a downwinder. Yeah. If it's uncrowded, perfect surf, I would go surfing every day.
So what's your deal these days? What's your percentage of time that you're standing up, surfing and going downwind? What's the percentage?
Well, right now I'm training for the Molokai race, so it's probably 90% training for the race.
But that's not always downwind then. That's sometimes that's flat water and so on.
Upwind too, and distance. Whatever. Yeah. Like the other day, I just paddled out from Molokai to Hanauma Bay and back. It's just to be in the rough water too, even though there was no wind, you know. So yeah, but whenever I kind of go either in the rough water or on downwinders, I think, and the downwinders are super important for just the efficiency and reading the waves and gliding, and also the joy of doing it. You know, it's like sometimes people get so into the training, and you know, I don't know. To me, it's important that you enjoy it. You know, in like that meditative state. To me,
it's like mindfulness, but you can you're doing something.
For me, it's like a way to balance myself too, from working, family obligations, whatever, and just getting out there. It's like my time, you know, and where I can really relax and unwind and recharge. You know, so.
That's what I think. I think it's like meditation, because, you know, to sit there for someone like me that's fidgety and so on, and I'm trying to sit still and breathe and all that, it's kind of hard, man. It's hard. But on you know, actually doing something, an activity, I mean, I'm not joking. I could be at like halfway through and then make it through another, like, you know, quarter or so and not remember paddling it. I'm totally into like something else.
That's
thinking
great,
about a situation. It's weird. Like, whoa, where am I? Oh, I'm at Diamond Head.
What's really important for me too is just being outdoors, you know, like, you know, because we spend a lot of time indoors, and I think especially I have a little bit of ADHD or whatever, ADD, and
yeah, you wouldn't have the H because you're not hyper. You don't
not hyper, yeah. But you know, they get distracted easily. So for me, just being outside, like, I also love hiking, and I usually go on the trails where nobody else goes. You know, I'll go through the bushes and whatever. You know.
Oh, that's great. That means the fire department gonna have to come get you.
Yeah, if something happens. But that's kind of where I kind of, you know, and I don't really bring music. I just kind of zone out. Like, you know, I'm just, yeah.
Haven't you had that experience before, where you're like either in your car or on a downwinder or in the channel or something, and then you went through a significant distance and you're like, whoa, I don't even remember that last part because I was thinking about something else.
I don't know. No, not really.
Or you're always focused in the moment?
Yeah, I don't know. It's not like I just totally lose myself in it, but yeah, it's, for me, it's kind of more being present, you know? I mean, that's cool. And usually when I start to think about other things, I kind of try to bring myself back to, hey, I'm paddling right now. I should pay attention, you know? So when I start thinking about other things, I notice I slow down too, you know? So then I bring myself back into, you know, just focus on the bumps and...
So you know when your distance paddle, are you using a longer paddle than your surfing paddle?
Yeah.
By how many inches?
You know, if I reach up over my head, I go to my to my wrist, and then surfing, I'll be like a shaka sign over my head or even head high.
So what is the difference of that then? It go like...
I can be like 8 inches difference.
That much? Yeah.
6 to 8 inches.
Because you figure the racing board sits higher out of the water. Plus, you got to reach farther out. Yeah. It's
but then half the time, like when I go surf, I just have my downwind paddle in the car, so I just end up using that when I'm surfing too.
Oh,
sometimes,
really?
You know, so, and then especially if I paddle further out, you know.
So are you switching between like a really lightweight paddle for racing and then a little bit more heavy duty for surfing, or not even? You just use the lightweight one because...
Sometimes I'll use the lightweight one for surfing too, and I haven't broken paddles for a long time. I know some people always break paddles when they take off on the waves, you know, pulling too hard. I just use like quick taps, just like kind of catching a bump and downwinding.
So you're using a smaller blade?
I don't pull that hard on the paddle anymore. You know? Like I use quick taps to catch waves too, and it's much easier to accelerate with the quick high stroke rate than even with a bigger blade. I use, you know, like an 86 blade, or I mean 96 blade. It's a fairly big blade, you know. But you know, you know, it's like when people break their paddle when they're catching a wave, it's because they're pulling like they're in third gear. It's like trying to start your car in third gear, or second or third gear. It's not, you know, you're just going to really rev the engine and wear out the clutch, and that's kind of what you're doing on the paddleboard if you're pulling too hard and too long and too powerful.
They also might not realize that they've fallen in the past and got nicks or some kind of weak spot. You know what I mean? Because like even I remember one of my boards before, it was on a decent sized day, but it like broke in half. But it broke in half on like a small wave, and I was like, what the heck is going on? But, you know, over a period of time, it's taking little dings from the paddle, it's, you know, it's getting hit by other things, and that was the one that just busted it. So I think, I don't know, my personal thought is that a lot of times that breakage is not from that's just like the straw that broke the camel's back kind of thing.
For sure. I mean, there's a good video that Jim Terrell made, yeah, Quick Blade, like, you know, where he jumps around on a new shaft, and, you know, 200 pounds can handle no problem, right? And then he bangs it against a piece of metal and jumps on it and it cracks right away, right? So that's kind of, you know, and when people throw their carbon paddle in the back of their pickup truck or drop it on gravel, you know, I always flinch because it's like, oh, there's a sharp rock right there, you know? So, you know, that's like one little chip in your carbon. It's like, it affects the integrity of the whole paddle. Yeah, it's the whole paddle. I mean, because it's all connected, like the fibers go from end to end, right? So if you have one hole in that fiber, it's going to weaken the whole structure, and that's going to be the place where it's going to break. So, yeah. So when people come back with broken paddles, a lot of times, you know, I always try to educate them on, you know, on that. But you know, but you still have to, you know, warranty it. If it's within a year, we usually will warranty it. But, you know, when I started paddling, I broke a lot of paddles, and yeah, actually Brian Carolina was kind of watching me. He's like, "Oh, you're starting in third gear, right?" So, and then that made sense to me, and he showed me how to do the quicker first gear strokes to get your board moving and accelerate. And then ever since then, I haven't really broken a paddle knot from pulling on it anyways.
See, that's key, because if you have somebody that is experienced that will give you tips here and there, that's such a big thing. That's why I think even on the Molokai one, if I was seriously going to do it, I'd have to join a, you know, like you guys or a group or something with people who've done it over and over again, so that you can just learn through osmosis more or less instead of just winging it. That would be me.
I got a lot, like before I did the first Molokai race, Jeff Chang, I was training with him. He had done it like a couple times already before me, so he gave me a lot of pointers. Aaron Napoleon was a really good coach too that I got a lot from. So yeah, definitely good to have some people that kind of mentor you or coach you a little bit on if you don't know what you're doing, you know. So for sure.
Thanks for watching Board Meeting. We appreciate it. Robert and I are trying to do this a little bit more often, and hopefully these discussions are helpful for you guys. Please subscribe down here. Please subscribe. Put some comments below. We can answer your questions, and then please give us a thumbs up. If you want to give a thumbs down, don't do that, please. Just thumbs up.
Yeah. Thanks for watching.
See you next time.
Aloha.